Welcome back, everyone. I am so excited for today's interview. We are talking to a very well-loved USA Today bestselling author who's very well known for her dark romance. This particular author also has over 100,000 followers on TikTok, which is just crazy. And if you haven't already started following her, you need to follow her today because the videos are fabulous. We are talking to the one and only TL Smith. How are you today?
Hey, good. How are you?
I'm fabulous and I'm loving the shirt. It's beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
So take me back to the start because you're quite a prominent figure in the dark romance genre. So I want to hear about when you were a baby author, when you just set out and how you went about self-publishing.
I was absolutely awful. I just wrote a book, found a cover designer, found an editor, and then I published. I didn't know anything at all. I literally just published it.
What mistakes entailed after that? Because I think a lot of authors do that. They hit publish and think, how come I haven't made $1 million yet? What do I do now?
Yeah, well, when I started, there wasn't many help groups. There wasn't many books on self-publishing. Again, I didn't really look because I had no idea what I was doing. I had no author friends. I just did it. And then I think I started gaining friends by when I was writing my second book, and I kind of started learning. And then when I released Black was when I started to realize this is actually a career. I need to put more into it.
That's amazing that by the second book you realize that. How long did it take you to write your first book? And then how long did it take you to publish it?
Well, published in seconds. But writing it, I think it took me 3 to 4 months.
Okay. And what year did you publish it in?
2014.
2014. And then when did you publish your second book?
Not long after. I think I did it in March. Yeah, same year. But that one was still downhill. I think by the end of 2015, beginning of 2016 was when I started to realize that I really need to, I started making author friends then, and they were telling me that they did this, they did that. Yeah. And I was like, oh, well, maybe I should be doing that as well.
Yeah. And I think too, especially around, as you said, around that time, around the 2015-16 mark, I think authors became a lot more interactive, especially online. So everyone sort of did start supporting and helping each other because self-publishing around them was still reasonably new. So nobody really knew what they were doing. So there was no marketing tactics or anything like that because everyone was just hoping for the best almost.
Yes, true.
Amazing. So you've now made this a full-time career, which is an absolute amazing feat. When did you start noticing the momentum for yourself in your career, going, oh wow, this is happening, we're picking up speed now?
When I released Black, so that actually took off on Instagram, and I was really surprised. We didn't really have the options of doing pre-orders. I think I didn't have an option of doing pre-order. I had it up on pre-order on Apple and everywhere because they've always been able to, but I don't think I had it on Amazon. I think that was just a live release. And that was when I first made my money back on a book. And I was like, wowza. And I made extra, which was huge.
Wow, because you're very prominent on social media as well. We'll get into talking about TikTok soon, but you're also on other social medias. I want to say, there's some people I find in this industry who just really have a knack for social media, and you're one of those, and I admire it completely.
I don't think I am.
You don't think so?
No, Facebook, I never post to. I hate Facebook. But I will go in my reader group. Instagram, I suck at posting on there. I hardly post any pictures. I think there's 20 pictures in my feed, of myself. I forget to post. Everyone's like, you're meant to be posting once to twice a week, a picture of your book or you. I forget. I prefer TikTok.
Yeah. Well, then let's talk about TikTok. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, because I remember not even a year ago, I personally was still sneering at TikTok. I was like, absolutely not. I'm not going to. I'm on TikTok now. But I think a lot of people had to overcome that hurdle because everyone thought it's just another social media. So
Yes.
what was the point that you decided, okay, let's give this a go? And then it's really blown up for you. You're very consistent on there.
Yeah, I started when we had our first lockdown in Australia. So my daughter was on it. She's 14 now, and she was always making these dances at the front of the house. And because we were home together, I saw everything that she was doing. And then I was like, oh, is there anything of books on there? And at the time, Book Talk wasn't very big. And so I made like my first TikTok of me and my books, and that got to 100K. And I was like, holy moly, there's actually an audience. And they were all saying, I'm going to read your book. I'm going to read your book. And then, yeah, it was consistent until I had about a 6-month break on TikTok. I became very ill. So I was away for that time, and then I'm back, and it's been amazing.
So that's crazy. So the first TikTok that you did, you got 100,000 views on it straight away.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy. That's so amazing. And then I guess, how did you then maneuver? Were you just watching what other people were doing within the same theme, sort of trying to figure out what was popular and what was trending? Is that how you kind of went with it?
There wasn't too many. Like, I think when I jumped on, it wasn't flooded with book talk like it is now at all. Like, it was just basically create your own stuff and hope and pray that it gets seen. It's still like that, not even gonna lie. I have some videos that get under 1,000 views, and then I can have some videos that get 500,000 views. Like, it's just, you never know what's going to pick up over there. You never know.
And I think the thing to add as well is TikTok is one of the few places at the moment that is organic reach. You don't have to pay for advertising, like you can, but unlike Facebook and Instagram, where the organic reach is very limited, that's why it's such a great avenue now for authors. I never thought a year ago I would be saying this, but I can see how well it's doing for so many authors. And you actually have said a few times that you think a lot of your income is because of TikTok. Is that correct?
Well, yeah. So when I had that 6 month when I was off TikTok, when I jumped back on, because I was like, I'm not releasing any books. I was bed bound. I didn't really have much to do. So I got my kids to bring in the books, and then I started making just book TikToks without showing myself. And, they were hitting like 1 million views. So I had an income from not working, not producing anything, solely based because of my TikToks.
Yeah.
Not spending a cent on anything. It wasn't paying any Facebook ads, nothing. It was just TikTok. And, I was in the high 5 figures just from one TikTok. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm so inspired. I need to jump on TikTok straight away. It's so, and you post, is it once or twice a day? Because I see yours, I follow you. I see yours not quite often.
I test it. So I'll go a month with only posting my regular. So I always post twice a day, when I go to sleep and when I wake up. But then sometimes I will test it and post like 5 to 6 times a day and see if any of the other times have changed or if they work better for me. But it's still my morning and night.
Yeah. Routine. I've one thing that I have to comment on, because it baits me every time, is when, and I've seen you do it numerous times and a couple of other authors do it, when they act as if they are the character, or they have a segment like, my husband cheated on me and now I'm doing this, or whatever it is, and I'm just like, oh, drama, spicy, what's happening? And then you obviously refer to the book. I'm like, oh, it's a book. That's very clever, because you've done that really well. One of your more popular videos is with the colored bands, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. So I just recently did another one similar. I was running late and I had no TikTok on. And so I literally sat down at my desk and I grabbed, they're like right here, not even gonna lie, like right here. And then I was like, I need to make a TikTok because I haven't got one ready for tomorrow. So I sat there and put the phone up, made one, I left, and I come back and it was at 500,000 like last week. So I didn't think that TikTok would go anywhere. And the ones I put time into can get like 2,000 views.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, you need to, if you're stopping at something and it's making you stop and go, whoa, you need to think, how can you use that?
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I'm just going to be the next couple of hours after this on TikTok. I just know. I want to talk about your new release. Sinful Hands is coming out January 22nd. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So you meet one of the main characters from Chained Hands. He's more of a, how to say this safely? He has a fascination with smell of women. Yes. And he gets fixated on a woman because of how she smells, and not just her perfume. I'm talking how she smells. And the lady that he is fixated on is actually a prostitute. So it's very interesting.
That's so interesting. And that one comes out on January 22nd, correct?
Is it 25th or 22nd? I'll have to double check. I'm not 100% sure. I'm in the middle of it. So my brain's like, shh.
How you going with your, well, then what does your, okay, that's my next question. What's your writing process look like? Because you publish quite a few books every year, so you must be constantly writing.
Yeah, so my kids obviously are in school, so I write all day while they're in school, and then I won't write when they're home. Unless I'm like literally trying to meet a deadline, then I will sit back in my office and write. But I try to not do it when they're here, just because they're getting older. I know they're going to be leaving the house, you know, more time together.
And it's healthy to have balance.
Yeah, and I try to get a minimum of 5,000 a day when I'm on a deadline. So I usually meet it.
Averagely, how many words is in each of your books?
They're between, like the one I just finished is 55K, but Chained Hands I think was 60K. I'm like in that range. That's amazing. I think all my books are in that range roughly.
Yeah. What's your writing process look like? Are you a plotter? Are you a pantser? Do you have some weird quirk that helps you?
I have no idea. I don't even know the middle or the end. I'm just a pantser. I will always know the beginning. The beginning is my favorite part to write. So like Chained Hands, for example, I was at, my girlfriends got married, and as we were leaving, we had on a wristband because you had to use it to go into the venue. And I had on a green wristband, and I went to the shop to buy some candles as I was leaving. And the lady that was serving us tapped my wrist, and she was like, "Oh, you're in a green wristband." And I like looked at her like, okay. My husband's like standing there, my friend's standing there, and we all had green wristbands on. She's like, "Oh, were you just at a spotlight party?" And I was like, "Sorry?" And then she proceeded to explain to me what a spotlight party was, that green meant that they were there to, red meant, and then what yellow meant. And I was like, oh, I'm writing that. So I went home and studied it, and then I wrote it.
And that was the TikTok actually we were referring to before, the one that blew up with the different wristbands. That's amazing.
So that's like my first 2 chapters of the book, like of that book. So that was like real fresh in my head. So that's how I made all those TikToks, because I literally just wrote it and I was like, I'm going to make these TikToks.
How did you feel when you first started writing? Were you ever in any way nervous or self-conscious in any way about writing very dark, raunchy romance? Were you a little bit like, what if my friends read this or anything like that? Did you ever have that apprehension?
No, because I don't really tell anyone what I do. But my first book was actually more contemporary. And by the second one, I killed one of the main characters. And I really liked doing that. So then I was like, it slowly turned for me then. I was like, I really like the darker side. But I'm not super, super dark. I'm more of like a mixed. But don't read me if you like sweet books, basically.
Yeah. And honestly, there is such a market for dark romance. There are so many readers who love it. The hotter, the heavier, the more taboo, they're into it.
Everyone loves a good villain.
Yeah, absolutely. So then what would you say you can only choose one. You can only choose one, baby. Which has been your favorite book to write so far, and why?
I actually don't have a favorite. Um, oh, yeah, I really don't have a favorite. It's probably my paranormal though. Probably.
So, okay, let's talk about your paranormal romance then, because Unlikely Queen comes out in March, and I am so excited for it because I am a lover of paranormal romance. I was just like, yes, you hooked me. So, how did you find writing the different genre?
I actually wrote that book 3 years ago.
Really?
Yeah, and it just sat on my computer. I didn't get it edited. I just left it there. And then I was speaking to my agent, and she's like, "Do you have anything you want me to shop?" And I was like, "I do, but it's in editing." Because I literally just sent it to editors. And she's like, "Oh, well, when it's done, can you send it to me and I'll shop it?" And I actually got some hits on it. One of the big five wanted it, but I ended up turning them down because I figured I could do it myself. And now I'm like, oh my gosh, people are going to read it. It's been sitting on my computer for so long. I love it. I don't want it to go. I'm ready to just pull it back. And I was about to cancel it again, but then Amazon told me I wasn't allowed to. So.
And is that why are you so apprehensive about it going out? Is it because it's something so different to what you normally write?
I just love it so much. I don't want to see, it's one I don't want to see any negative reviews on. So and usually I don't care about those, but I just don't want to on this one because it took a lot to write it.
Can you tell us a little bit about it?
So yeah, it's based on three sisters. They're born 3 years apart. It's more paranormal fantasy. It's not just paranormal. Like there is witches, angels, werewolves, vampires. And the baby sister is the main person. And she's actually got hidden powers that no one else knows about. And the queen, she's in a prophecy and the queen wants her dead. But the angel of death keeps on saving her every time that she almost gets killed. And yeah, I can't give too much more away.
I'm so excited. You just ticked all the right boxes for me, if I'm being honest. I'm excited for this. Now, it's interesting. You were just talking about agents. So I would love to hear about your experience in pitching or how you acquired your agent.
So I've had 2 agents before. The one I've got now reached out to me, and she's actually done quite well for me. She's got me a lot of audiobook deals. She handles like all the rights for everything that I want her to do. I'll just send her something and be like, "Can you shop this?" And she'll be like, "Sure." I've got a few translations coming up as well. And I've already got my book translated, I think 3 or 4 countries.
Yeah.
And so she reached out to me. The other one that I used to have, I reached out to her because I had a translation deal. The publisher reached out to me and I was like, I don't know what to do with this contract. So I reached out to someone and then she's like, yeah, we can take you on. And then it turned out it wasn't a great fit. So the other one reached out to me and then I'm with her.
Yeah. And that's the interesting thing too, is you find in whatever contracts or agreements, not everyone's necessarily a right fit. And there's nothing negative about it. It's just sometimes you're not on the same flow or whatever it may be. And you hear it often on here that there are a lot of changes, or especially when it's a long-term career, and that's completely okay. I think a lot of people think that once you agree to one thing, that's it for life. And that's not it at all. It's a very diverse, ever-changing industry, which is awesome. In regards to, I'm so curious as to, obviously you had an offer by a top 5, which is for some people, the dream, the goal that they're after. And I love that you thought, nah, I know I can do this as well. So what kind of made that decision for you in the end, weighing up the options between that opportunity?
So I'm guessing the lady from the team who read my book, she liked it. And she really just wanted my ebook rights. She said that she would do a small distribution run on my paperbacks, but not as large as I wanted. And I was like, well, I can do my ebook everywhere in the world. If you're offering me the paperback, but only in certain places, which I can get into myself, I didn't see the point of that. Plus, she wanted to price my books at super high, and my readers are used to, not that I don't think I'm worth that, but because it was a new genre, I just wanted to like introduce them at my normal price. So yeah, I just turned it down. It was hard. Sometimes I'm like, should I have taken it because it is a new genre? And then I'm like, no, I can do this.
Yeah.
It might not blow off at the beginning, but eventually, sometimes books take time.
Yeah. I think you're going to do amazing with it. Honestly, as I said, I've seen the cover. It's stunning. I love the blurb. I know I'm already going to pre-order, but I kind of want to pay for back. So sorry. But you're going to do so well because you've already done so well with every other book that you've released now. So it's going to be interesting what lessons you'll learn for yourself as to how to market it differently, though. That'll be interesting.
Yeah. It's not like, it is like even TikTok, it's trickier for me to market on there because I'm so used to doing, like, there is romance in it, but I'm just so used to doing like the complete villains that it's a bit different for me to do. Yeah, the other, because they're not just villains, they're like, he's the angel of death, it's a bit different. I'll work it out, but I'll get there eventually.
So is this one made to be a trilogy?
No, so I've decided so far 2 books, but I figured if it goes all right, I'm going to leave room for it to extend, but so far it's 2.
So what would you say then your top 3 must-dos are? Every time you have a book release, what are the 3 things that you have to do?
So I'm not conventional like most others. Like a lot will set up ads a week before. Like I reach out to my author friends who are doing great with ads, and I'm like, I'm terrible with them. I don't even do them. My tax agent tells me I need to spend more on ads. I'm terrible with it, but mine is TikTok. Now, TikTok. I will make heaps and heaps of TikToks on that book. And like Sinful Hands, I made a TikTok about it and it got 600 pre-orders straight away. Like
that's crazy. That's amazing.
Like, I don't need to go and spend. I will though. Don't get me wrong. I will spend ad money. I'm not. Yeah, but TikTok is my way, and I don't have to pay anyone for TikTok. It's free.
It takes you like 5-10 minutes in the morning to make.
Yeah,
that sounds like a good investment of time, if you ask me.
Yeah. Yes.
Do you do like newsletters or anything like that? Do you have a Facebook reader group?
I have a reader group. I have a newsletter. And yeah, I post on all my socials, but it's the ads that I struggle with the most.
Yeah. Have you ever thought about, I know some authors option out to have somebody else do them, or some people have also had that and it just hasn't worked out for them necessarily, so they found it easier to do it themselves?
Yeah, so my PR company helped me when I'm like, I should probably run an ad. She's like, I'll do it. And I'm like, thank you.
What would you say your most memorable reader interaction moment has been?
In Vegas, a reader made me sign her hand and she went and got it tattooed.
No way.
Yes, way. Yeah.
Yeah, where it like on here or?
I'm pretty sure it was her wrist. Pretty sure. I've got the photo somewhere and she's the sweetest. Like I adore her. Yeah, I love her to bits. Yeah.
Flattering. Did she send you a photo after when she actually got it tattooed?
Oh, I was with her. So I actually paid for her to come and stay with me in Vegas. Like at a signing, I paid for her accommodation. And yeah, and she's like, oh, because she'd never traveled before. And she's such a sweet girl. And then she's like, I've got something I want to do when I'm in Vegas. And I'm like, all right. And then she's like, can you sign your name on my head? And then she went and got it tattooed. Yeah.
Wow. I don't even know what to say to that. That must be very surreal.
I didn't know what to say. I kept on saying, are you sure? Like, you don't really have to get this done. My writing is terrible. Like, because my brain is so fast, my writing is like a doctor's, like I hate my writing. And I'm like, I'm like, what about just some lips? Because I stamp my books with lips. I'm like, what about just that? That represents me and it's cute. She's like, no, I want your signature on me. I'm like, okay.
Wow. Did she have other tattoos or was that her first?
I think that, no, she had a few others. Yeah.
Wow. How do you find book signings and conventions? Because they're as fun as they are very tiring at the best of times because it's so high energy. I'm curious as to how you set up your table because everyone has their own style. What are your go-tos?
Nothing. Whoever's with me sets it up. Nothing. I'm not the biggest fan of signings. It makes me too, like, I just don't like big crowds, but I love meeting my readers. Some of my best friends are my readers now. So, like, but things, that's probably the only thing I have anxiety about is I just don't like big crowds and I don't like the attention on me.
Well, that's fair. But I mean, you totally know next time we're at a signing together, I'm going to just like bear tackle you and you'll be like, no.
I plan to go to Vegas. I've got a signing in Vegas in October next year.
Amazing. What is
Love Vegas.
How is that event? Because I'm looking at 2023 doing some international signings, and that was one I was looking at.
It's a pretty big event. It's probably one of the biggest in America. Yeah. A lot of readers fly everywhere to it.
Okay.
Yeah. She's been running them for quite some time. Yeah. And I'm excited because I love Vegas.
I was gonna, right, 2023, I'll see you there. But speaking of loving Vegas, because it's amazing, you also love traveling. So I'm curious as to hear like some of your stories. Where's your favorite place to go and why?
Iceland. If you follow me on social media, you would know that. That's all I post about. Every time it comes in my feed, I share it. I'm like, I'm going back. I'm going back. I'm going back. It's literally the prettiest, safest, just absolutely amazing place I've ever been to. And I've been to a lot. So that one is the top, top, top.
And what would your second be?
I really liked Venice.
Venice.
Yeah. Oh, it's a toss-up between three actually: Disney World, Vegas, and Venice. Completely different. They're all completely different, but I love them all differently. So, but Iceland is my top one.
I'm always so surprised when I ask Matt, because obviously we're both fellow Aussies. We actually basically live an hour apart, which is pretty cool. But a lot of those who have traveled to Australia, Americans, should I say, when I interview them on here, they're like, I don't want to say it because you're Australian, but we love Australia. And I think, really? But I guess it's not until you travel around that you realize how different Australia is as well, especially with our animals here.
Yes. Yeah. I went even just like terms, for example, like I needed a pair of thongs and I went into a shop and asked where their thongs were and she pointed me to the underwear. And I was like, oops, wrong one. One
And we do, there's so many different ones that we use. I remember every time I went to States, it'd always be something, I'll say something, they'll say that again. What does that mean to you? And it'll be something completely sexual to them. And I'll be like, that's not what I meant. One thing I want to talk about is you are a USA Today bestselling author, which is an amazing feat. I would love to know when the moment was that you found out that you were on the list and most importantly, how you celebrated.
So my recent one, I celebrated by going out for dinner and drinks. I got a whole bunch of flowers. I love flowers. And then I passed out. It was pretty amazing.
How many drinks did you have?
There's this local restaurant that sell bubblegum margaritas. And they are literally like lolly water. And oh, they're so good.
So that answers our question then, plenty.
Yes, yeah. I manifested that. So I'm not going to lie. Like I did a lot of hard work, but like I really tried to manifest that and it came true. So it was really cool.
So what would be some of the writing advice you might have for somebody who's wanting to write dark romance specifically for the first time?
So a lot of people say to read the genre, but I don't actually read dark romance. So I'm too afraid that I'll blend it somehow. So I just stay away from it. I think the darkest I get is in my paranormal, in my fantasy, because that's what I read. I read paranormal and fantasy. It's like it's my favorite genre to read. Second is love triangles. I love tearing my heart out. And I would just say, if you're unsure on a scene, study it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the best way to do it.
What would you say then your greatest challenge and your greatest accomplishment has been so far in your writing career?
It's probably Chained Hands.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Hitting USA Today on that within the first week on a full price book, was pretty, with no ads, was pretty amazing. Yeah.
And what's been your greatest challenge?
Personally or books?
Both.
My greatest challenge was last year when I had cancer, and books, I would probably be trying to get back into writing after I had cancer. Yeah.
I think too, like, one, I'm sorry to hear that, but two, I'm glad to hear that you are feeling better.
Yeah.
Also, I find this interesting because a lot of us really devalue rest. I want to say we get so caught up in, we need to do this, we need to publish this then, and then when we have to take a step back to rest, and whether it's that we've just hit a wall or what it may be, or in your situation a health scare, I think a lot of people get scared about coming back into it as well, that maybe they've lost it or maybe they've lost that spark. But you very quickly learn that actually this is what I was born to do. This is what I'm passionate about. And when you slowly get back into it, you feel that natural flow. Would you agree with that? Was that your experience coming back into it?
Yeah. So I was completely off. I didn't write anything for at least 4 to 5 months. And then, because I actually had an organ removed, so I was bed bound. So I couldn't get up to do anything anyway. And writing is my main income. So that was stressful within itself. But prior to me finding out I had that, I was so tired, and I thought it was because of how much work I was doing. Little did I know it was the opposite reason. But I was having to have a nap every day. It got to that exhaustion part where I was dragging myself to write. But yeah, it was tough. Yeah.
Well, I'm so happy to hear that you're feeling a lot better and stronger for it, I want to say.
Thank you.
This is my favorite question to ask. What is the goal? What is the dream that you are chasing for your writing career?
I think it's every author's goal, a movie deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would like to see my book on TV, but with me keeping it true to the book.
Yeah.
I don't mind. I understand bits have to be chopped. I completely understand that. But I would like to keep it as close as possible.
Yeah. And I imagine too wanting to be a part of the experience as well, because that'd be really cool.
Yes, it would be.
I have a segment called Speed Dating with an Author. So you and I are going to go on a very romantic date. I lit a candle. I've created ambience. But basically what it is 5 rapid questions. Are you ready?
Yes, go.
Amazing. What is the clumsiest moment you've ever had?
Drunk in Vegas.
Oh God, yes. Was there a moment particularly you were overly clumsy?
I just didn't realize that American drinks are not measured, and ours are. And that's as far as I'm going.
Too many bubblegum cocktails and other.
Yes, way too many. Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny. What is your life motto?
To never give up. Just keep going, keep going, keep going. Yeah.
What are the 3 words that best describe you?
I'm hard. If you ask for advice, I'm going to be brutally honest. I'm dependable and I'm honest. So hard Dependable, honest. Yeah.
What is the song that best describes you?
Probably Alanis Morissette, I'm a bitch.
I love that song so much.
Yeah.
What is a unique talent or skill set that you have that not a lot of people know about?
I'm actually a speed reader.
Oh.
Yeah.
How quickly?
Before I started writing, I would read like 3 books a day. Like I'm not so much anymore because I haven't done it for a long time, but I'm a speed reader. Well, used to be.
That's crazy. What a talent. I'm so jealous. I have had so much fun. What do we need to know? What's coming up and where do we stalk you?
TikTok. Please do. Instagram.
Is that TL Smith, author, or what's the handle?
No, I don't actually have author on my TikTok. It's just TL Smith. And then for my Instagram, it's TL Smith 1313. 13 is my lucky number. So it's like literally everywhere. And I was born on the 13th, so it just fits. And then on Facebook, it's author TL Smith.
And what is your Facebook reader group name?
TL's Dark Angels.
Oh, I love that. Well, yeah. I have had so much fun and I cannot wait for these new releases. I'm definitely holding out for March. I can't wait for the new paranormal romance. So thank you. And thank you so much for coming on. And who knows, maybe watch this space. Maybe we'll get you on next year as well.
Awesome.
Well, have a good day and I'll talk to you later.
Awesome. See you. Bye. Bye.